Go ahead and call this meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone to the Brawley City Council meeting, successor agency to the Brawley Community Redevelopment Agency. Regular meeting agenda this Tuesday, March 5th, 2019 at 6 p.m. And we can get the roll call, please.
The minutes will reflect all council members present.
Very good, and we'll have the invocation by lead pastor Joe Garcia, the Brawley Gateway Church.
Just want to thank you guys for the privilege to pray, and hope you will excuse me. I have a meeting to attend to after, but thank you for the privilege.
Thank
Let's
you.
pray. God, we just come before you acknowledging that you are good and gracious and you love us, and we thank you that you love Brawley and that you have good plans for Brawley. We pray for these men and women who are, according to the word, just servants, who are here to minister and bring order and peace to the city. We pray that you would give them great wisdom. And we invite you into these plans, acknowledging that you want so much to bless this city. And so we ask for just direction and guidance over them, God, that you would bring unity, God, between those who believe and even those who don't believe, God, that there would be a sense of your order and peace in this place, God. And above all else, God, we just ask that you would bring Brawley together in a way that would honor you, God. And we do thank you for the privilege to come before you now and to ask for your blessing and for the privilege of just coming to your throne and asking for grace and mercy. And we ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. And the pledge will be led by Mayor Pro Tem. Kastner, how are you?
Thank you. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you, Pastor Garcia. And before I begin down our agenda, I do want to note that Ms. Shirley Bonias, our Personnel and Risk Manager, will be our sitting in as our city manager. Our city manager is tending to a family matter, so thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Very good. So before I move on to item 1, we do have one amendment, or I guess an addition. Under regular business 4C, we want to include, and it is in the backup material, both for the public and the council, to include a waiver of the street closure fee prior to our discussion or any action on the council. So if we can reflect that. And we'll move on to item 1, which is approval of the agenda with that amendment. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstention. Motion carries. We'll move on to item 2. Item 2 is public appearances and comments not to exceed 4 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any items that are not appearing on the agenda and is with the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you when you come to the microphone. Please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I will now open at this time. I would like to step up over here to your left. I appreciate it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dana Mendoza, and I'm here on behalf of the Brawley Cattle Call Queen Royalty Association. And we submitted some applications to Parks and Rec. There is one that's I don't know that it's being held up, but I know that the rodeo committee may or may not have gotten it at the same time. They were given a couple, and we got response back on one. Ideally, May 4th, we're asking to rent the cattle call facility for a Battle of the Bands, country Battle of the Bands fundraiser for the Queens Association. And I am asking if there is something that we can do to expedite this, if they need a better explanation, or if we need to turn something in. If we wait till 3/19, which is what I understand is the next meeting, that we would be on the agenda, that leaves us 47 days. When we submitted it the first part of February. So I'm asking for your help to, an idea, something that we can do. We have planning, we have things to do. If it's completely out of the question and they're not going to allow that, then we need to move on to a different venue.
Very good, Ms. Mendoza, I appreciate that. And so obviously this is public comment, but I would just ask, Shirley, we noted that, and if staff
No
can
problem,
get with
Mayor.
Ms. Mendoza.
I'd be
Happy if I may, Mayor.
Yeah.
Are you requesting, I briefly saw the application. Are you requesting alcohol to be served?
Yes, we will.
Okay, so that's the component, Mayor.
Okay.
And you turned in your application, I'm sorry, when?
I believe it was the 13th of February. It was 11, it was right before Valentine's Day.
It does take council action to approve the alcohol portion of your application. It does not take council action to approve the rest of it. But we'll look into it, Mayor,
Okay.
and see what can be done to expedite things.
Okay, we would appreciate it. Thank you very
Very
much.
good, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public would like to come up and address the council?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and just wanted to give you a little update on, what Sure Helpline Crisis Center is doing at the moment.
Sure, could we just get your name for the record?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My name is Joanna Ramirez. I'm a lead advocate for Sure Helpline, and then
I'm Carla Soto. I'm drug and alcohol suicide prevention educator / bookkeeper at Sure Helpline Crisis Center.
Thank you.
So we are here today because we wanted to invite you guys to a couple of our events that are coming up. And, another thing is just give you a little update on what Sure Helpline is currently doing. So Sure Helpline has its main office in El Centro and in satellite office in Calapat. We have the opportunity to serve the community and, in hopes to free the community of sexual violence, and we assist victims of sexual assault from all ages, from little to elderly. No, there's no age limit. We always see that sexual assault does not discriminate in that, and just wanted to share that right now we are actually working really hard with the schools, and the schools are being very cooperative with providing rooms for counseling for the students, and out in the community we're being able to provide counseling and sexual assault victim services for incarcerated survivors as well. That's for the county jail, the Calapat prison, Centinela, and the detention center in Calexico. And and one more thing is that the rural community has been very appreciative, I said, and they really accepted our services. So Salton City, Winter Haven, Nyland, Slab community, and and Brawley, I'm gonna say, they all really take part of our services. Use our 24/7 lines, and they really. I really hope that this just brings more awareness out there to the community that it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter who you are. A sexual assault victim can be anybody. And at that moment, at that time, we just want everybody to know that there is an agency out here that is going to be able to help, and is going to, hopefully do whatever it can in its power. And if we can't do it, we'll refer you to the correct place. And then I'm going to pass it over to my coworker to share with you the updates on our events. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here just to promote our events and to invite you to participate on them. We'll be more than glad to have you be part of it. Our first event will be on April the 12th. It is our gala event. We used to have it at Club Lujo, but unfortunately, the place was closed. So we're going to be having it right in front of our offices. It is a trailer parking, RV trailer parking, and they have a big salon where we're going to be able to use it. We're going to decorate it. Whatever we get from the gala event help the victims. For example, many times our victims cases happen on the weekend. So of course, social services, Women Heaven, every other agency is going to be closed. We're one of the agencies who, as my coworker was mentioning, we have the 24/7 lines. If somebody calls, we're going to be there. Many times our director, Margaret Sousa, she's at the office during the weekend, so we get cases depending on who it is. That's the person who she calls. Many times we have to provide vouchers for hotels, food for the victims because they have nothing. So we use the money that we get from our gala events to be able to help our victims. One of the big things that we do focus on sexual assault, but we also cover domestic violence. We cover a lot of teenagers who are runaways, who have problems with suicide, mental illnesses, or somebody who just have needs somebody to speak with. We also help people who have problems with substance abuse and dependency. So we never turn around anyone. We always try to help them. If we can, we're going to refer the people to the proper agency. So that's our gala event. What it does is to help us raise funds for to help these victims, to help them with whatever they need and however we can. Many times we have to help them with buying diapers, formula, clothes for the kids. Many times we have bought them their tickets for to get the flight for them to go to other state or to move out of the county, because those who are being abused they live here in the county. So we help them get out of the county, and we keep in touch with them as the time progresses until they need us. Another event that we're going to be having is the Denim Date. It is going to be on April 24th. It is a worldwide protest against sexual assault. It started in Italy. It was a case that a girl, she was sexually abused, and the person who committed the crime, he was prosecuted and found guilty, but the case was overturned because she was wearing a jean. So apparently, women who are wearing jeans cannot be raped. So they didn't take into consideration being, the fear, the threats, being coerced, being extortion. So this is a worldwide protest, and it's going to happen on the 24th. On April 26th, we have the Walk a Mile in their shoes. So we invite all men to join us in our walk and to wear red high heels. We can provide them. We forgot to bring one of them. They're men's sizes. They go. Those look pretty nice. You can show your legs and everybody. We have had the DA. We have people from Border Patrol. We have from every single police department. We even have the board members from El Centro to join us. They have walking shoes. You don't like the red color. You can wear any color shoes, just as long as you come and join us. And it's a protest against, like I said, it is against sexual assaults, any type of sexual violence. And we invite all the community. We invite the kids from high school to be involved into this, so they can start learning what it is to be in a healthy relationship. They learn what it is not accepted, what it is accepted, and it also gives some men those little kids to show that, hey, it is okay to be a little bit feminine. It is okay to be sensitive. It is okay not to show your macho side, to forget that miseducation that we have received as kids when we were told kids don't cry, men don't cry. You have to suck it up and you have to stand the pain. No, you're a human being. You can cry. You feel the pain. If I slap a man, they're gonna feel the same pain I do. But you don't have to withhold that pain with you. So we like to show kids that they're allowed. It is okay to feel pain, to feel emotion. It is okay for you to report if you have been sexually assaulted or you have been abused in any type of situation. It is okay. We are human beings and we feel the pain. So with that said, sorry I speak a lot. But we cover topics from A through C, and we help people from A through C. We don't care about social status, migration status. We just want to help, and like my coworker has said, we want to help the Imperial County to be free of violence and to teach, to become more in touch with who you are and what we are, become more accepting of people with disabilities, any type of relation, cred, whatever it is. We want to make it safer for our kids as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Soto and Ms. Ramirez, for all the work you do and everyone that obviously contributes to the SURE helpline. So thank you very much. Any questions from council? Sounded like we covered, and look forward to some of these events.
If you want the shoes, we can bring it anytime you want.
Yeah, thank you.
They're white,
They can practice.
skinny, and everything, so you can practice. You have one.
We can practice, there you go.
Yeah, we have videos of people who are they're all mature. They don't want to try them on, but once they try their shoes, they give us the wrong way walk in the office, and so it is kind of.
And I'm sure they start crying because it hurts.
No, they start showing the really nice walk and everything. So.
Well, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Appreciate the information. Thank you. Very informative. Thank you.
There you go. Mr. Riddler.
Gil Reblar, 261 West K. Just came to, I'm sure you guys got the email today about the state of the county next week, Thursday at Doc's Organic at 6 p.m. Supervisor Ryan Calvi will be issuing the state of the county, and I will be the master of ceremonies. So that may make some of you not want to go, but it's still going to be a good time. And I hope to see you there next Thursday at Doc's Organic at 6 p.m. So see you guys there.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for
Riddler.
the invite.
We'd like you to make several guarantees.
you have any other public comments? Any other members of the public? Very good. Thank you. We will proceed and move forward with item number 3. Item number 3 is the consent agenda. These items are approved in one motion. Council members or members of the public may request individual items to be considered separately at a time as determined by the mayor. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition, no abstentions. We are moving on to item 4, regular business. 4A is the discussion and potential action to oppose Assembly Bill 854, which amends the Imperial Irrigation District governance structure. Backup material is in pages 44 through 53, including a pre-written letter of opposition, still unsigned, and I do believe maybe if we want to begin, we have an Imperial Irrigation District official as a guest that may want to come speak on the topic.
Thank you. Jim Hanks, Division 3 Director, 73-year resident of Brawley, California. Like everybody else my age, I was delivered by Dr. Foster. I would just like to take just a moment of your time and appreciate coming before you, Mr. Mayor and council members. I appreciate this opportunity to speak, to bring to your attention state legislation that threatens the long-standing water rights of the Imperial Valley and affordable energy rates approved by, enjoyed by all of IID ratepayers. AB 854 by Assembly Member Mays proposes to increase the IID Board of Directors from 5 to 11, with the additional 6 elected from Riverside County, giving Imperial County a majority on the IID Board of Directors and effectively diluting and violating Imperial Valley voting rights. Last year, IID faced a hostile ordinance from Riverside County aimed at bypassing its jurisdictional rate-making authority. IID challenged the ordinance in court, and the court ruled in our favor, creating the preliminary injunction, making the ordinance unenforceable. The proponents of the ordinance have now moved to the state legislature to advance their special agenda. It is important to understand that IID rights to serve customers in the Coachella Valley are tied to a long-standing legal agreement on energy and water with Coachella Valley Water District and Southern California Edison. The agreement with Coachella Valley Water District, for example, dates back to 1934 and provides them Colorado River water rights and annual lease payments from IID's energy proceeds that have reached approximately $45 million to date. I might add, that's beyond paying for the Coachella branch of the All-American from these proceeds. This agreement is part of the Boulder Canyon Act, federal legislation that cannot be preempted. Proponents of the bill have used the phrase taxation without representation to grab attention and mislead the public. To be clear, a charge for electrical service is not a tax, it is a fee. All of IID's customers have representation on our board and have a strong voice. IID's board holds public meetings in both Imperial and Coachella Valleys and serves all customers equally, which is reflected in its customer service record and ratepayer-focused programs. Local communities also have input on energy-related projects and programs via the Energy Consumer Advisory Committee, which is comprised of representatives of cities and counties served by IID. IID has permanent offices, complete with a customer service center and full-time staff in the city of La Quinta. In closing, the bill threatens our water rights and ignores the letter of the law, contractual relationships that benefit both valleys, and ultimately give control to Riverside County. We urge the Brawley City Council to join us in our opposition of AB 854. And
Thank you, Director
If you have
Hanks.
any questions, I'll
Absolutely, we'll open it up. Any council member questions? And maybe just for the public's edification, in our backup material is a letter of opposition, strong opposition, that's prepared. And obviously, depending on the action we take here in a moment, what we would urge is each and every council member would be signing on if we're in agreement to move forward with this letter of opposition. So, with that
Mr.
said-
Mayor,
Yep.
I just would like to add just my comments.
Sure.
You know, there's not a whole lot of things that we can stand strong on. This is certainly one of them. And so I'm in favor of that, and I would make a motion to approve the item if it's in best interest of our city council. I believe it is. So.
I would second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Any questions for Mr. Hinks?
I would just hope that the public in general sends out letters and makes contact with their legislators so that they can understand our severe opposition to this assembly bill. And I think it's very clear that they want to take over, and I don't think we should allow that.
Very
Thank you
good.
very much.
All right.
I totally support
Okay.
the letter also.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you very much, Director Hinks.
What if we titled it Dear Savages instead of Dear Assembly? You don't think we can? You don't think that'll?
No, I don't think so.
Take us to regular business item 4B, will be discussion and potential action to approve a request by Los Amigos to sell and consume alcohol on city property for Cesar Chavez celebration on March 30th, 2019, from 10 a.m. to midnight. Backup material, pages 54 through 58, and we have Marjo Mello.
Thank you. Marjo Mello, Interim Parks and Rec Director. Mr. Reyes is also here for any questions or comments. And this is an annual event to celebrate Cesar Chavez, whom we have a street named after. And it sounds like a really fun day with lots of good stuff happening. There is a request to sell alcohol, and this is what's before you is to approve that. And I'd also like to point out that the organization is paying the minimum $500 towards the road closure, which I think is great.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve the item.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, a second. Any questions, any further? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to say before we take the vote on that, I'm going to vote nay on this and the next one as well. You've all heard my spiel about alcohol sales and consumption on city property. I just want to make it clear to the public that my nay vote has nothing to do with the event or the organization that's putting on each of these events, both Los Amigos and the Brawley Chamber of Commerce. I wish success for both of these events. I have a firm belief that alcohol consumption does more to harm our communities than it does to benefit it, and that's the reason for my nay vote. I just want to make that public.
Thank you for your comments, Councilmember Hamby. So with that said, are there any further questions, any discussion amongst council? Not, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, already made, right? Motion second. All right, we'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
No abstentions? 4-1, thank you very much. We'll move to the next item.
Mr. Reyes, congratulations, by the way, on your being king and queen.
King and
There-
queen of the Mardi
Wow.
Gras for City of Calexico.
Royalty.
Yeah, royalty.
We have
Congratulations.
Erico.
Oh, courtesy.
Lots
Get
of
some red
royalty.
shoes. You need some
Yeah, I
red
need some
shoes.
high heels too.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Our next item will be item 4C, discussion and potential action to approve requests by the Brawley Chamber of Commerce to sell and consume alcohol on city property for the Taco Showdown on Saturday, April 13th, 2019, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Backup materials, pages 59 through 61.
Mr. Mayor, we have read I'm sorry to interrupt, we have read the backup material. I just would make the motion to approve the item.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and
Believe there's some
second.
Mr. Mayor,
Commentary?
if
Yep.
I may, please include the portion that the street closure waiver is also
The waiver.
requested?
Yeah.
He said it.
That was noted in the beginning, but thank you for clarifying again, just prior to any potential discussion or vote. And I think Councilmember Hamby also noted your statement. And with that in mind, does anyone have any further discussion?
Would it be prudent to separate those two, the
Future?
street closure and the alcohol consumption, alcohol sales?
Separate them in the...
In
what
two
do you
different
mean?
votes, maybe?
I think it would be prudent in the future if we could do that.
Okay. So right now, I have a motion to approve
As written. yeah.
as written and as read, as amended.
Yeah.
So we're good with that. We have a motion and a second. I'm in a position I can go ahead and call for the vote, but I think that's a great point for the future.
I think it is.
And I think some precedents are being set, so
Yeah.
we, with the other one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One opposed, no abstentions, 4-1, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you,
Lucha
Brawley
Libre.
Chamber.
Lucha Libre, thanks. Lucha Libre.
Thank you.
Did you show up to intimidate? Is that what it was?
He brought his bodyguards.
Just in case.
He brought his security guards.
That's why Councilmember Hamby had to clarify.
Royalty needs a body.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
All right, we'll move on to item 5, departmental reports, and we'll begin with item 5A, which are our monthly staff report for March 2019 by Shirley Bonias, our sit-in and interim city manager.
Honorable Mayor, council members, just want to remind you that we have a police officer swearing in on March 12th, 9 a.m. And we do have another candidate in background for a police officer. We have opened the finance director position for a permanent replacement. And also, we're starting our seasonal job openings as well with lifeguards.
Okay. Very good, and I'd like to personally just, a big kudos to the police department and the chief for, I know, getting this far with our staffing, so good to see that and hear that. Thank you. Any questions on that from council? We'll move on to 5B, which will be Ivy Reeds, Marjo Mello, Library Director, backup material on page 63.
Yes. March is Women's History Month, and as part of that, we're having an Ivy Reads, which is where people read the same book and then gather together to discuss the book or have an event. So on Thursday, March 21st, we will have Her Honor Lepe Negrete come to the library at 6 o'clock, and we are all reading the notorious RBG, which I brought copies for anybody who would like one.
Wow.
And the point is, once you've read it, please pass it on to somebody else who might want to come. And we have many more at the library. So we just want to invite everybody to this wonderful event. And enjoy a discussion on women in the justice system. So, thank you.
Very good, Marjo. And if you don't mind staying there, the next item will be a tentative tree planting sites, if you have a department report on that.
Yes, and Alma will rescue me with the PowerPoint.
More money, more problems for her, huh?
Yes. And they had a movie out recently, too. So,
Yes, I think so.
which is actually based on the book. Thank you.
Marjo?
Miguel's here to answer questions, too.
No, I
Yes.
was just going to say that I looked at my calendar, and we do have a League of City meeting that day.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So unfortunately, most
won't
of
be
us
able to be there.
will probably be at the dinner, but
Okay,
I do want to read the book, so
Good.
hopefully.
okay. Well, we have about 20 of them, so take your time.
Thank you.
And she's, what's the word everybody uses? She's feisty. So that's really cool. Well, what I want to do is talk about an incredible grant where the City of Brawley, in cooperation with the City of El Centro, Ivy Urban Forest Grant, that we will be able to accept 350 trees to plant in Brawley at different places. It's an urban forest grant, and we're working through a group called Tree San Diego. That's, our contact is Callie Legakis, whose last name is the same as her dad's, who's pretty well known here in the valley. And I just got a note today that they've got a contract with a West Coast arborist. It will be the group that will have a professional arborist to help us make sure what we select and what we want is good. Okay, I have no idea. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. Okay. These are the projected sites for trees. There is an approved list of trees or a potential list of trees to look at. And I want to praise Miguel Perez for doing such a great job of analyzing and making a map that even I understand on different places to put different trees, different types of trees. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a list of different trees we might be able to have. So we have Alice Giroux, and what's cool with Alice Giroux is there's going to be a lot more shade, which, as we know, that's one of our splash pad fun places to go. And then we have Beachy Field, and we have so many people who like to sit on chairs and sit in the shade that'll be really good for that. Then Citrus View Park is going to get 8 trees, which again will be great because it gives people a little bit more shade in the long run. It will give people shade to watch the kids play on the equipment and those kinds of things. And at Soto Field, 21 trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
And
There's
then
nothing
Gonzales Park, 32 trees. Hinojosa Park, 36 trees. And since some trees were taken out with a recent beautiful remodel and restructure and everything for Hinojosa Park, that'll make a nice difference there. And we also have a lot of people in the neighborhood have requested trees. So, and also to help out with trees there. Then we have Jeff Thornton Park with 33 trees, and Meserve with 31 trees. Pat Williams Park with 71 trees, and Volunteer Park to finish that out with 2 trees. It's such a really nice set of fields there. Right. And then the one that makes my library board happy, because 2 people live on Sunset, which backs up with Western for that beautiful strip of trees. They're going to be getting 10 trees to finish out the row again that's across from Phil Swing School.
That's nice.
And then Ed Wiestfield, 8 trees.
Those trees over at Pat Williams near the New River are going to be like mutants. Those things are going to grow like
Glow in the dark.
glow in the dark trees.
A lot of trees.
And maybe we can, what's cool about the program too is that it works on oxygenation for the community and stuff. Maybe we
Yeah.
will get some that can handle interesting chemical
Yeah, no
combinations.
kidding. That's
So-
awesome, though. That really
It
is. great.
is.
It is. I'm glad it's.
Any
good.
questions for Miguel, the expert?
Thank you, Marjo. Council, questions, comments?
The only comment I have to make is the local Rotary has expressed an interest in assisting in this, and I don't know
Oh,
if they'll have a
great.
role, or if they might be volunteers, or they may be able to provide something to help with this effort. They keep asking me about it, and I keep putting them off because it's been a long time since we arranged to get this grant, and then for it finally to come to completion or to get started. So they've expressed interest. I may report this to them tomorrow.
Great.
And then we'll see where we go from there.
That's wonderful.
What, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, what are the tentative dates? I'm sure you're going to advise those that are helping with the planning about our weather and the
Right.
ideal time to plant the
not in
trees.
December.
So, yeah, I
That'll
mean,
be dead.
because,
That's a tree planting expert.
okay, Miguel?
Good afternoon. The tentative days are before May, sometime between May. There's 2 parks that they're trying to use as focal parks, like to get something for the community going. That would be Hinojosa or Pat Williams. Pat Williams, they'll will be putting smaller trees at the walkway area and larger trees where the open area is at for shaded trees.
And we lost a major tree there a while back.
Salt
right?
cedar.
Salt cedar,
Yes.
that was there. Mhm.
Yeah, and Pat Williams, salt cedars are gonna start coming out. They're so dangerous. Eucalyptus. We have some mulberry trees at Hinojosa that are coming out as well. They're 40 years old, 50 years old. I know Rotary has a lot to do with Rotary Park, so as soon as we get the dates, we'll let you guys know. We have a meeting next Friday with Legakis and West Coast Arborists, so we'll get the ball rolling with it. Every information that we get, we'll share it up here.
Is there going to be a variety of trees, or is it just one type of tree?
Yes, on the back of the first page that I gave you right now, there is a list of trees that they're offering, and it tells you how much oxygen they produce, all that good stuff.
Miguel, and I'm sure it'll come up, just overall, not details, but irrigation is going to come up, and that's obviously a topic with parks in general anyway. So what's kind of the plan there as far as the planning sites?
All the areas that are planned out right now, there's irrigation as we speak right now.
Okay.
So as well, there is a grant attached to that grant for some irrigation, replacement of valves, new electronic system for clocks, monitored by phone, stuff like that. So there is a plan in place already for water.
And some of the low water usage trees as well, so.
Yeah.
And also on Western today, park staff were putting in irrigation pipes, in case somebody saw and wondered why people were digging. They're actually putting in irrigation today on that section.
Okay.
I have one question. Are there trees that are also coming for some of the schools?
Yes, whatever is not used, there's 350 trees that are coming to the city of Brawley. So whatever is not used by the city of Brawley will go to the elementary school district or to the high school district. And we'll coordinate with the high school and the elementary to see what they need. And this is just a proposal of 299 trees. It's not set in stone yet how many we're gonna plant. Who knows, we might plant 250 at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
Very
okay.
good.
And there's also a public education portion where we'll be having little mini workshops, and hopefully some of our younger people can get their fingers dirty and learn about trees and root systems and all those kinds of things. So that will be coming too, probably in the fall when it's cooler. But we
Will there be
having,
shade?
right, but we will be having that component too as part of the grant.
I said, will there be shade?
Yeah.
By then, yeah, by then.
I have an umbrella.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Bring some pop-up
No,
shades.
thank you.
If you can come up.
No.
Over here, yeah. Microphone's
We
not
got
live
you
over
on
there.
camera, and we want to make sure.
Oh, I love the camera. You should know that already. No, as a Brawley Elementary School District trustee, I don't see any high school trustees here, so I hope we get first dibs on these trees. But no, I think this is a great opportunity also to get the schools involved. I just took part in a beautification day at the Barber Junior High, where we had over 24 students come in, scrub the halls, clean bathrooms. So I think getting the involvement and reaching out to our superintendent to have them not just the education part, but hands on the ground, helping plant these trees, or doing whatever they can to help would be a great opportunity to get our students involved. And I don't think it'd be an issue seeing them cleaning bathrooms and whatnot. And they were doing it not because they were in trouble, but just they want to help their school on a Saturday morning. And Barberwood Junior High principal Miss Marmolejo is doing a great job, and I'm sure she would also help in coordinating getting students the assistance and the planting of our trees. So hopefully, I just hope you guys can reach out to our superintendent when you guys do plant them, and how we can get our involvement. So just want to share that with you guys.
Sure. See, we came bearing gifts. This is good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. If there aren't any further questions or comments?
Just
you go.
I know Rosanna, city manager, has reached out to the superintendents already, and me myself has reached out to the grounds people. So we're already working with
Already have communication.
with that
Yep.
communication.
Okay. Very good.
Good.
There's no beating around the bushes with you.
No,
Thank you, Big Al. I'll be here around the bush or the trees.
Shrub joke,
A shrub joke. A shrub
Yes, I know.
joke. A shrub joke.
The root of all happiness is a good tree. Anyway, I also just want to say that right now, dates are still a little fuzzy till we get everything done. So we're just, at this point, mega enthusiastic and doing our beginning reach outs to make sure that we get everybody involved that needs to be involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Good
good.
news.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Marjo. Thank you for the update. We'll move to our final departmental update, which will be an update on schedule of roadway improvements and community cleanup day on Saturday, April 6, 2019, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Public Works Director Guillermo Silas.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Guillermo Sillas, Public Works Director. As included on the backup material, the community cleanup date of April will be on the 6th at the Brawley Airport from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the route will be the same as the last two seasons, I believe. So it is included the material that can be disposed and what you cannot bring. So with that, if you have any questions there, I'll be happy to answer.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions on that? Nope. Seeing none.
Okay, the second part of the report, it is a tentative schedule of our street roads rehabilitation. We awarded the contract to API. We had our pre-construction meeting, and it is scheduled to start the project this coming Friday on 8th Street. We have been in communication with the stakeholders and with members of the public along that street, because we'll be the first one we will start. And we have been also in contact with the contractor to review all the documentation, submittals, construction schedule, and traffic control plan. And so that's the plan, and it will be approximately from March 8th to April 3rd to complete 8th Street, and then the contractor will move to the rest of the streets. We will be posting no parking signs 48 hours in advance of the March 11, which is Monday, when they will start. So you will notice in the public totally change on 8th Street because the operation, but it will be plenty of traffic control signs, devices. Our construction manager will be available, public works staff will be available, contractor will be available. So with that said, any questions that you might have?
Any questions? Comments?
I just would like to say thank you for all the hard work that you're putting in, and the rest of the department for all of these road improvements. I know you've had some roadblocks along the way for the plans, and thank you. I learned from George. But I know that people are going to be irritated by all of the reroutes and detours and all that over the next year, but I'm excited for all the changes that are coming on our streets, so thank you.
Right. That's good, thank you so much. That's good to know that there will be calls, people will be reaching you out saying that we have a mess, but I always say this to anybody, is when you are trying to remodel your house, there's always inconveniences. Everybody have to move to just one room while the other is in repair or rehabilitation, so it's the same thing. It is not possible to do it without any disruption. But we will do as much good as we can with less inconveniences and maximizing, the resources. But there will be disturbance anyways.
Sure,
Mr. Mayor?
we expect it.
I had one, there's one of the business owners along the route asked me the other day, as far as the communication with them, as to how you're going to do the work. And I guess his concern was the access while the work is being done. So
Right.
is that going to be communicated through you or through the contractor?
It will be a little bit complicated to explain the whole phasing, but there will be, like in general, we provide information as to when or each day what is happening, and there will be plenty of signs and devices for them to know where to go.
Okay.
Plus, we had a meeting, and tomorrow we will be delivering one by one flyers to each one of the businesses. And the contractor will be able to explain any questions that they might have. Also, of course, that they will have to inform the truck drivers or the trucking companies that they use for their product. But it's very difficult to inform all the people that is going to be driving, but there will be plenty of signs. So they will be directed very clear where to go. But of course, that not knowing where are they going to turn to go back, it might create, some.
Well, I assured them that would all be communicated to them before the work started. So if there's any questions, I'll have them
Right.
give you a call.
The thing is that the traffic control will be changing every day.
Okay.
But there will be always signs to reroute them, and there will be always access to emergency vehicles and to businesses. But it will be changing. That's why I started saying that it will be a little bit difficult to explain the whole sequence.
Mm-hmm.
The sequence is written on the plans, but it's not easy to understand because there's so many changes throughout the whole operation. But when you are driving, it will be very clear. Plus, there will be plenty of workers that they can help the traffic.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Jeremy.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. Perfect segue into some thoughts I had. Just a reminder to council, to staff, that the chamber can be used as a mode of communication to the general public. We have several outlets: social media, email blasts, direct communication with members of the business community. Just looking at number 5, A through D, we have services that we can provide for each of these as a mode of communication. Just real quick, letter A, personnel. If you're hiring, we have ability to post jobs through our website. Ivy Reads and Cleanup Day, we can promote that on our social media. And then tree planting, if that's a community thing, we can bring people together. So always remember the chamber's here to help with your communication, and feel free to send it over and we'll just send it out.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Smith. Very good. And anything else for Mr. Silas? No other questions? Thank you very much for the report.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 6, which will be informational report only. It's in our backup materials, starting on 73 all the way through 102, attendance record. The only comment I want to make there, if I could, Shirley, is I thought of the idea. I know usually in this segment there might be some comments about attendance issues, but I think we should also highlight those that have perfect attendance, and we have many that served for many years in some cases. So maybe perhaps some recognition on an annual basis where we can bring those members, committee and commission members into the council and in some way recognize them for that, whether it's a plaque, certificate, medal, whatever. It's amazing how many people will run 26 miles just to get a medal. So just an idea for further discussion.
Ones that didn't make all of them, will they get a participation ribbon or no?
If they get, well, it can be, depends how nice the ribbon is. But I think it'd be a good thing to highlight, and you never know. Sometimes that just a gesture like that makes a difference on attendance. So just
Maybe
an
we could
idea,
do it
just
in
throwing that
June.
out there.
The last meeting in June, maybe we could do something.
Okay, very good. We'll move on from there. We'll go to item 7, which is council member reports, and we'll begin with Councilmember Hamby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was privileged to attend lunch with a concerned community member, Johnny on Wheels. I've mentioned this in the past, but discussing an improvement to a handicap ramp or an ADA accessible ramp on the side of the senior center, the side entrance, and his concerns revolve around the size of his electric wheelchair and others that might have the same type of conveyance. And so working with him, and also I was able to speak briefly with Guillermo Cias at the State of the City address about how that can be accomplished with volunteer work and the plans and so forth. I attended the Brawley Elementary School District parent fair. I wasn't sure what to expect there. I didn't know if parents were going to be like carnies or doing tricks or something, but it was more for information. So I learned a lot while I was there. I did not allow them to take my blood pressure or prick my finger or anything like that. I didn't want to pass out in front of everybody there. And I was honored to attend the funeral service of Susan Manger, being on the liaison for the Brawley Library Board. I felt it was important to be there for that. I attended the Click a Parker 15th anniversary event the other night and enjoyed that. I was informed that it's been more than 15 years, but this was their major milestone. And beyond that, just been speaking with different community members about parks and about the tree planting. I had one concerned community member send me a photo of glass that they picked up at Hinojosa Park during a ball game, and he was very concerned about that, and I thought that would be a great opportunity for a volunteer project to go through and pick up glass. And I said, well, maybe there was confusion. Maybe, I know everyone's been asking to plant more grass. Maybe they thought they said plant more glass, but I'm sure there was a lot of help from people that don't like having nice parks, breaking glass and that kind of stuff over the years. But I think it's good to see the concern from the community, because that means that there are people that are also willing to step up and help out, not just complain. So that is it for my report.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Hamby. Councilmember Couchman.
Okay. Attended the Elks Major Project Drawing and Dinner. They had that this last week. Nicely well attended. They use the money for their charitable projects, but that's specifically for a major project that the Elks does for the city countrywide. So I also attended the Stockman's Club Casey Tibbs statue dedication. So if you look at the cowboy statue out in front of the Stockman's Club, they dedicated that last week. So I did attend that along with the Elks dinner. The Click a Parker insurance anniversary event, I did attend that along with my fellow council members. Also the Walmart online grocery pickup ribbon cutting that they had, where they have some automated grocery pickup. You can call in advance, they'll prepare your order. It comes out on like an elevator and kicks it out there in a box to you, and it's kind of neat. We tried to fit George or somebody in there, but didn't quite work, so we gave that up. It'd have to be a larger box.
Lawnmower.
Yeah. And then I attended Jack Hannon's funeral. Jack Hannon's longtime member, resident of Brawley, and I was able to attend that. Also, the Breakout Fitness ribbon cutting. I think many of us attended that. And then the Brawley Elementary Parent Fair, I also was there. And that's pretty much my report. I would like to say thank you to the police department and the fire department. I see them out there every day. They're moving around. They're out there in the community. I hear sirens all the time. I know things are going on. They seem to handle those very well. And I know we've had a few incidences come up, and it seems like everything is moving smoothly on that. But I do highly commend them for the job that they do here in the city of Brawley. Our public safety, I think we can stand out and say that they're one of the greatest we have here in Imperial County and probably in the whole state. So I do appreciate that activity from them. Okay, and that's my report.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Couchman. Councilmember Nava.
Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate that you did thank staff, and I would like to thank them as well. I know everybody's working hard. Also, there are some members of the public that showed up here now, that are here now still, and showed up earlier, and it's great to see some new faces participating, so that's always good. I was able to chair the unmet needs hearing for ICTC, and so that's an annual meeting that takes place. It's actually a series of meetings that take place to get public input on some of the transportation needs for the community, for the public transportation system. And we've been successful in the past in addressing many of the needs, whether that be direct routes from IVC to different communities, or just expanding service within the community of Brawley or other communities. So it's good to hear from the riders, because as I've mentioned before, if you're not a frequent user of the transportation system, you may not know exactly what the need is, right? And so that's a great place for public input. And we're still, I think the challenge we have there, though, is making sure, because you have to imagine, Johnny on Wheels showed up as an example, and he had his own commentary, but you have to make the meeting at a time that's going to be adaptable to their bus schedules, and that they can participate in, because so oftentimes they work or they go to school, so it just makes it a little bit challenging. But at any rate, it's still very good input that we receive, and so I was happy to be able to do that. I've done that a few years now, and I learn something new every year, so it's always good information, especially like when we had, for example, the change in the Clínicas de Salud, right? A lot of people that use those services also use the transportation system. So with the facility now in El Centro, structured off by Interstate 8, that obviously requires a change in bus schedules. So, and that affects people, right? And so, I'll tell you, what we would consider, what some of us may consider is a small inconvenience, to many that use and rely on transportation, public transportation, it's a big deal. So that is important. And the cost involved too. Because if they have to pay for a round trip taxi ride, that can add up, we may not have an issue paying $12 or $14, but for somebody else who's used to paying $2, that's a big difference. So anyway, that was interesting. Also was chaired the LTA Oversight Committee meeting that day, and again, I just want to thank everybody for the work that they're doing. I want to thank in advance the wastewater treatment facility staff. They're going to help out tomorrow with some pointers and some information. I do have a short presentation before the Rotary, and it's going to be on wastewater treatment, which is everybody's favorite lunchtime topic, right? So yeah. So anyway, thank you all very much.
Are you going to do it after lunch or before lunch?
And they're like, why did you get asked? I'm like, I don't know. They must think that I like to talk a lot of wastewater, right? So, I don't know. Right? That's what it is. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for that report, Councilmember Nava. Mayor Pro Tem Jauregui.
Okay. Well, I think all of us were pretty busy, and we had to kind of spread ourselves throughout the city and the valley because there's so many events going on now. But I did attend, I think it was their first night at the Oscars. It was put on by our Imperial County Film Commission. And it was a very nice event. I learned a lot, actually, about all the movies that have been filmed in Imperial County. And they even had a trivia thing for us. And I managed to win a little prize. I guess I knew a little bit about Star Wars. But anyway, it was well attended, even though there were so many things going on that night. I want to say there's probably over 100 people there, so I think that was a good turnout for their first evening.
Was it all extras or just the real actors?
Oh, just movie stars like myself.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Anyway. Okay, and then I also was able to attend the ribbon cutting and grand opening for our Breakout Fitness Center on Main Street here in Brawley, and very, very well attended. Some of our council members also were there. I was really, really impressed with with the facility and all the information they shared. It looks like it's going to be a very successful fitness place. There was a lot of people there. And based on the numbers they gave us, they already have a lot of members enrolled. They even have on-site daycare, which is a real nice addition for parents that want to go work out and take their kids with them. So that was really nice. Let's see, I attended the Brawley Chamber, our regular Brawley Chamber board meeting, and Katie's here, so I'm not sure. Are you going to report on anything, Katie, or am I free to? Okay, I don't want to steal your joy if you are. Katie's report indicated that the chamber currently has 323 members, which I think is really outstanding. And they are doing a really good job of recruiting businesses to join the chamber and doing a great job of keeping everybody informed and in the loop and participating in all the activities that the chamber puts on. They're working real hard right now on the next big event that's going to be here in Brawley, and that's the great taco showdown that's going to be on Saturday, April 13th. So make sure you mark your calendars, because I think, are we going to have the wrestlers again? Or the...
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I think everybody was really excited about that one, so. And that's held at the North Plaza Park here from 5 to 9 p.m. And Katie also reported that they had been in the process of selecting new board members, and real pleased to find out that there were a lot of interested business owners that are wanting to serve on the chamber. So that was also great news. And we'll probably be hearing who the new members will be soon. And let's see, there's a group of community members that are still working on getting a grant they're pursuing the resurfacing of the tennis courts over at Missouri Park. So I'm not sure exactly where they are. They're just trying to get everything going on that one. And I also wanted to commend our fire department and also, of course, the police department, but I know that you probably have noticed that we have different ambulances out there in the city. And so there's an adjustment period for our fire department, and I really want to commend our fire department and fire chief for their hard work and dedication and making the necessary adjustments to do everything they can. Okay, and that's my report. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Howdegi, for that report. Mine will pretty much echo most of my fellow council members. Enjoyed attending the chamber-hosted ribbon cutting for Walmart online ordering. Certainly learned about how that process works, and just so the public knows, you can drive up as well as walk in and pick up, I think, as it was echoed. Also attended the Click of Parker 15th anniversary and presented a proclamation on behalf of the city to Click of Parker, all the principals that attended, including the Parker side that comes out of Fresno. And so it was great to meet them and present that proclamation declaring February 28th Click of Parker Day. In addition, I went to the annual association kind of evening dinner that precedes the event at the Brawley Municipal Airport with the Navion Association. So it's an aviation group that has a long history of being based out of Imperial County. This particular model aircraft, a lot of the enthusiasts that own these aircraft from all around the country actually fly into Imperial Valley, spend the weekend, and they do various events and competitions at the Brawley Airport, which they have noted is no question one of the finest airports in the region, not just in Imperial County. So proud of that fact. I also attended the County Board of Supervisor meeting, not today, but earlier, a week ago. And I do have a professional relationship with the item that was on hand, but it was speaking to the formalizing of the interim plan for ground ambulance services being provided. Under the conditions, I too want to really extend my gratitude and appreciation to the fire department. So if our interim chief, Captain Bonillas, wouldn't mind expressing that to all of our fire personnel. I know there's a little bit of sacrifice there because of the housing arrangement with our ground ambulance services, and just so everyone knows, that arrangement is really throughout the valley. So all the existing, what used to be ambulance stations, were in previous conditions that really were not probably suitable for that personnel, and are now embedded in various fire stations up and down the valley. So, and that's to include both Brawley Fire Station 1 and 2. So again, thank you, providing important service to our community. And then last but not least, I too attended the Hannon family funeral, and was well attended, and had an opportunity to speak and share some thoughts there. And again, always when we have stalwart agricultural families that have a long history here, I want to extend on behalf of the city our condolences to that family, and as well as prayers and comfort. So with that, I too want to appreciate all my fellow council members for all that they've been doing. It is a team effort, and certainly staff, that your day-to-day work really allows us as council members to do what we do. So again, appreciate that. We'll move on to our next item. That's off of council member reports over to city manager report, item number 8. And Shirley,
Nothing to report there.
Nothing to report there. We'll move to item 9, city attorney's report.
So I'm happy to report that the place on G Street that's been with the burned out little units, the court appointed a receiver. The receiver took possession of it last week. So that'll be boarded up and probably torn down. Most likely sold, because the owners seem to be deceased.
Understood. Thank you to our city attorney for that report. We'll move on to item 10, city clerk's report.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. We'll move on to item 11, closed session. We'll take a brief break. Thank you to the public and all those that attended. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.